So I have another new layout with TC200. I've been always tweaking things in here. And this right here is buyers versus sellers and showing the percentage. So this shows the red line with the red dot is sellers, and that is showing the percentage. So right now in this candle, 75, 80% are sellers. This is showing volume. Then I also have, so if I hold it here, I can see the ATR for the 5-minute average true range, ADR, and down here I've got dollar volume, and then I have the green versus basically buyers versus sellers over the last 30 periods. So right now sellers have taken over, but yeah, that's the new layout. I also have the price bars color coded in a way that makes sense to me. I'm really not that complicated at all, but that's what you're looking for. You're looking for sell signals, buy signals, reaction to those signals. Is the volume above average? Now this is going to be all green if it's above 95%, or all red if it's below, or if selling is above 95%, it'll be all red. So you can see where you had big time selling right there in the daily chart, there, buyers stepping in, all the buying that we had with this huge run up. Just makes it a little bit easier to see. And you can see like right around here where on the trend wise where sellers started to lose control, but obviously right there is the so this is something I look at, like kind of look at everything as a whole, but mostly I'm looking at price and volume, and mostly price. The price, the bars that are formed, the levels, the anchor VWAP is a big thing for me that I like to use. Also the price levels, and I'm just always thinking about, like, not really, I'm thinking about what other people are looking at too, like where if you bought, where are you going to put your stop? But this 5-minute chart is such a good example, because you had a nice run up, you tried to make newer highs, you failed, came down on volume, and then you had a big buying here. So that was above average buying, and buyers were greater than 95%. Actually, it also has to be greater than average for the last, so it's the exponential, basically the moving average for the last 8 bars. It also has to be bigger, so I can show you the code on that. Let me just show you. Let's see here. So you've got, to turn it green, you have volume, basically buyers are greater than 95%. And then the volume for the average over the volume for this bar is greater than the average for the last 8 bars. So anyway, I mean, that's just a clear as day signal. And then you just you could buy it as it's happening, or you could just wait for the next candle and buy the break of that high, and then set your stop either at the low or probably a little bit higher. I would probably set a little bit higher than that. But then you start taking out all these levels here on the way up. And then this anchor VWAP that I had drawn out, which is this, it's basically on a 5-minute chart, I have a price level, because when you change time frames, let's look at, see this yellow line here? That's the anchor VWAP from the all-time high. But when I change the time frame, it puts the anchor VWAP at a higher level. So it's a little tricky, it takes getting used to. But ideally, like, what I want to see is in a short position is definitely, like, right now we're holding that support. We came down, we broke through it. Now we came down, tested it, and that's probably an area for me to take profit. We'll see what happens after this candle. Right now you're seeing strong buying. But if I'm going to ride this down, what I'd want to see is you close below this, you see sellers continue to come in, and then ultimately you close below this yellow line. But we're pretty far above it right now. So just knowing that, like right now, if I'm going to move this down. If we are going to break this high, that's really a buy signal. Or that's the signal now you should be buying. But you've got strong sellers. So let's see how this candle closes. I'm going to stay in this short position and hope that it closes below this 878 level here. So let's see how that plays out. My thought is, I did some scalping on this earlier today on a video, on a 1 minute and 5 minute. I have a 15-minute chart up as well right now. But my thought is, okay, it's 145. Like, I just want to take a nicer, hopefully this fades off into the end of the day. But buying has been really strong, so why would it? I don't know. I have a lot of confidence in this. You know, it came up through this Anchor View app and met a ton of sellers and should come back down. So that's why I'm willing to give back some profits on this. But if I were scalping it, I would have gotten out like right there. So I am playing this on a bigger picture time frame. An entry on the 5 minute with the levels and signals or whatever. I don't say signals, but the levels kind of marked out on a higher time frame. You can see here where buyers stepped in, but you had buyers in control, but there wasn't any volume. So I think this should continue lower. Now, if it gets down into this area and you start seeing like strong buying like this, then I'll cover. Otherwise, probably what I'll end up doing is I may look to swing this. I may look to swing this over the weekend, or maybe I'll trim some and swing a smaller amount over the weekend. But if we get just strong selling into the close, then I'll probably just hold it all. So right now it's 147. Of course, this could quickly turn on me and I could be stopped out. You could take this here and do an Anchor View app. So my stop is just above. So definitely, there's no way I want to be in if it comes up through here, which is what it looks like it's going to be doing. See, sellers have taken over. But on the bigger time frame, it's just strong buying. I like to look at multiple time frames. Some people say you should stick to one time frame. And I mean, I guess I do stick to one time frame in terms of like when I'm scalping or swinging, but I like to look at the higher and lower time frames to know where all the important levels are. The yearly, the monthly, the quarterly, all that stuff matters. This is looking pretty strong because it came down, it held this level, it found support here where you had strong buyers right there. So all these, everyone that bought right there, this is their average price. If you just assume that everyone was dollar costing averaging from here all the way to here, it tested. So everyone had a small, tiny loss right there for a second, and then it came back. So buyers supported it. But my philosophy here is all the sellers, or everyone that bought, up in this area is going to be looking to sell right now. So it's going to find a hard, that's why I'm, it's not all-time highs here. It didn't break out to all-time highs. It broke out with a lot of overhead resistance. And we're down off of those highs. Let's look at how much we're down. 10%. It's not too bad. But this is definitely a slow moving trade, not one that I would typically watch and talk through like this. I'm just trying to kind of explain what I'm looking at here, and also explain my layout, kind of some of the things that I've tweaked in here. I think this can work pretty well for scalping, but you need a lot of practice with it. But if you're looking to like write, it really helps in the 1 minute. As soon as that candle opens and you're seeing strong buyers off the bat, well, you have to also take it in context of where you're at, what level you're at. Are you in a downtrend, uptrend? But right here, you're coming into support. So, now you're getting some buying a little bit. It's just kind of weak though. Look at all the red down here. It's not working. Volume's kind of drying up. You had selling here, 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 here. Yep, so now we're getting stronger selling. This is really where I can move my stop down. See, now we broke this level. Now I'd want to stay below this right here. So we came down through, like, first you undercut this low, you undercut that low, you took out the stops, you came back. So now when you're coming down, I'm looking at these levels. Okay, people that bought here, there was a lot of buying. They probably already took profits, but that's an important level. So that could be support. This area could be support where it could turn around. So just with this position so far, I'm up 0.5% roughly. Nothing too exciting, but I don't want it to get back above that red line. See, buyers trying to step in. Maybe you ran some stops. Sellers are a little bit exhausted, so you can come back up here. It could be a dipped spot, but I trade a lot of the pump stocks, and one of my biggest setup is when it comes up through an anchor VWAP after a big move. I look for sell signals to get in on the short side. So I'm basically applying that here to NVIDIA, and you can just see the buyer stepping in. If I were scalping this, I would be selling, either selling in the scaling out, selling in the strength, or, I'm always looking to sell in the strength because you can have a wider bid ask. So maybe I would put, like I'd want to close out like right. Gotta brighten the screen up like right down here, right? So hopefully the selling came in right here, caught me, and then right before it turned right back up. We're still seeing some pretty strong selling. Buyers are trying to step in. It's still up 6% in the day. You still have, Yeah, you look at the 15-minute, you get stronger sellers. But this can turn around so quickly, like in a heartbeat. So just undercut here, found buyers. Basically, if everyone had their stop loss here, the stops were run and then buyers came in. And now if we cross up through here, that would be pretty bullish to go back towards the highs. We might get that retest of the highs. Still no real serious selling on the 5-minute. So I think I'm going to wrap up this video here. I want to go probably play some basketball or something. I've got my stop loss in here. Pretty nice outside, nice and sunny, so I'm going to go enjoy the sun. Hopefully you got something out of this video. Maybe I'll do a longer video with a wider screen next time, explaining more of my process. But that's just kind of an insight. Like, you know, like I said here, I put the notes. I don't see any buying. You tried here, you tried as a buy right there, but where were the buyers? They weren't there. Yeah, percentage-wise they were there, but they weren't there with enough volume. And in this candle, couldn't get above the anchor VWAP. There was no follow-through on there. You would want to have seen this close at the highs just like you had down here. You know, now we're continuing lower, probably going to take out this level, and you know, I'll just continue to trail my stop loss.